All right, here with Carmel coach Mark Ellington. Coach, strong performance today. Obviously, everybody who doesn't know, splitting the team. Got the girls here running at MIC conference, and then got a group up in Culver. Walk us through first, just kind of how that has come to be, and the decision making there, and how you make that choice of who goes where.
Well, when the tournament got moved back to sectional on Saturday instead of Tuesday, that crowded the MIC, the conference meet, and so they looked for a Saturday to have the conference meet, and they put it on this Saturday. And we really like Culver. It's a great meet. It's got great competition, and we wanted to be able to throw down with some teams up there that we don't see during the year. So we just kind of decided, and we got permission. We talked to the athletic department about that to make sure it would be okay. But we split, and we sent a group to Culver, and we sent a group here. Sometimes people question that and are like wondering, that's kind of pompous, kind of arrogant. And I say, the team we bring to MIC, we expect to win. We bring a competitive team to do that. And so when we're looking through our roster, the previous couple of weeks, we're starting to think, okay, who's at Culver that we have to match up with, and how much are we going to need to compete there? And does that leave us a quality team at MIC? We've been very fortunate the last couple of years that we do have quality teams in all locations. So.
Yeah. And I've read another interview with you that's a great point that I think a lot of people fail to take into consideration with this move. One, you have the depth to be able to do this, but two, you're giving a lot of girls a great opportunity to showcase, right? That maybe they wouldn't have the ability to run in this race if the whole team's here.
Well, yeah, I've got girls, if we were just to run it straight up varsity all the time, those girls today that are all conference are running the JV race, and they're killing the JV race. And, there's no awards in the JV race at this meet. Like, what do you have to show for it? And every year, guess what? We have smart kids. They graduate every year. We don't get them back the next year. They go on. You got to replace them with somebody. And how do you build that level of experience? And so if having such a big school and having such a big team is such a huge advantage, okay, I'll accept that criticism that sometimes is. But we're going to use it to our advantage, and that means I get more girls. I'm going to spread them around. If there was another meet that we could get away with doing it, I might just take another group and send them to another meet and let them compete at a varsity level. For us, it's can you compete at the varsity level and be successful?
Yep.
We always remind them about, hey, look what you're wearing. You got Carmel jersey. Everybody wants to beat you. You are the target. Be ready to race. And the earlier you learn that in your career, the better you're going to be late in the career, because it's not going to bug you anymore because you've been through it a bunch of times.
That makes perfect sense, Coach. And obviously, I think today, Daphne Boom, let's talk about her in particular first. Fantastic. She wins the MIC senior. She's part of that split group, right? So
yes.
Talk about, what your thoughts on her performance.
Daphne's had some great races this year, and she's had some tough races this year. Last week was a rough race for her in Louisville, and it was a tough day. And she knows part of today, her performance is going to kind of help decide what we're going to do with her on sectional roster or not. And I think she put down a very convincing argument that we should not forget her. It was a great race. She got out decently, but didn't panic that she wasn't, in the top 2 or 3 right away. She worked up in there, and I actually texted our coaches on the way to Culver. I said to them at about the 3K, I said, Daphne's going to win this race. I said, I respect the girls in the race, but I could see it in her face. She's not going to let this get away. And man, what a move she made in that last 600 meters. Just flew, and it was a great day for her. Really, really happy. She needed to have that kind of race.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today was that day for that, so I'm really happy with it.
Today we're still waiting on team results, but obviously, what do we talk? 4 in the top 10?
I think we got 4 in the top 10 or 11. Maybe 4th was 12th overall, but I know then 5 and 6 were 15th and 16th. So I feel like 6 in the top 16 ought to do it. Lawrence Thornton looked good.
Yep.
I just didn't quite see where their 5th was. That might have helped us a bunch. I'm not saying we ran away and killed it. Yep. It might be a close score. I just feel pretty good about our team.
Yeah, that makes sense. So strong move here today on the split. Obviously, likely got done what you accomplished. Let's talk about the team then going up north to Culver right now. You talked about roughly top 7 to 8 kind of depth-wise is up there with some great competition. So what are kind of, what are your thoughts on that race and the team that you sent up there?
I would tell you that last year we did not run a very good Culver. We had good girls up to the race. It just wasn't a very good race. So I'm not sure if it was because, you race at noon and it's a little warmer up there at that point, or if it's just a long stretch in the morning. I don't know what we did. It did put our heads back on straight for tournament. That was one thing it did for us. But today we're excited. I think we got most of our guns up there today, ready to run. We haven't run against Penn. Penn's got all kinds of great races out of them this year, so I hope we match up and kind of show we can we can do battle with them. You know, Carol's not there this year. That's one team we're missing that would like to race. But you know what? You race when you race, and when you get your chance, you just don't miss it. So we're excited today. I think that I've got a strong group. Geisler, I think Christina can run every step with Sarah right now. She did a different strategy last week, and it kind of beat her up the whole race. She's just catching up all the time. And then Maddie Dalton, Rachel Anderson, and Phoebe Bates. My God, are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Those 3 girls together are just awesome. They work together in practice. They're finding each other in races. Like in that group of 5, there's not that infighting you sometimes get about what my spot on the team is. Those girls are determined to be the best team they can be. This group wants to win a national title, and they've watched Fayetteville do it so many times. They're kind of sick of watching it happen. They're doing everything they can to be that group. I don't know if it's going to happen, but they're doing everything they can to make it happen.
Well, that's good, actually. That's kind of leading me in the next way. This meet kind of starts the trigger, if you will, kind of getting into the tourney season.
Yeah.
But I know obviously at Carmel it's a balance, right? I mean, that's obviously goal number 1, I'm assuming, is state meet every year.
Yeah.
That's one, but there's also the other piece and the component of, from a coach's perspective, of training to run well in October and early November, but then carry that through another month.
Yeah.
Right? So from you, do you guys start changing things up training wise at this point, or from a timing perspective, when do the gears change a little bit?
I'll tell you what, this is my 8th season of coaching, and this will be the 8th different schedule or variety. I mean, we're like every other coaching staff. You know, we look at it, we do pretty good in a lot of things, we tweak things here or there. So yeah, we're looking at what we're going to do. Like, we've been weight training pretty much from the end of August through this whole month. And we were talking yesterday about how we're probably going to keep doing that, but maybe tweak it a little bit, maybe not quite as much or not as frequently. I don't know. But like, we're talking about how our schedule's going to change a little bit. We're getting ready to race, but we're still doing threshold work that's, 15 to 25 minutes so hard. We're not doing the K stuff yet. So we won't change over to that maybe for a couple more weeks.
Perfect. That's fantastic.
And so, state title's on mine. And quite honestly, we'll focus on sectional ones at first. And we try really hard as coaching staff, make sure our athletes are focused in on each week and not so much about what's down the road, because you start missing things between here and down the road, then you're not down the road. So
that makes sense. Coach Sarah, beginning of the season, we went with you at the NC4K first meet. She was battling a little sickness. We talked through that. Obviously, the weather's starting to get a little bit better, hopefully the next couple of weeks. She kind of turning into the form here, getting 100% healthy.
Yeah, she would tell you she's not. I feel like she is. She wants results now, and she's very determined, very focused. Personally, I think she's in a tough spot because no one is going to ever have that season she had last year. That's just a 1 in a billion opportunity last year. Did that 2 minutes faster than she was her sophomore year. And I think sometimes I have to remind her, hey, you're not going to drop down to 15:10 this year, all right? You're not going to drop another 2 minutes down. We just need to get you back. She said to me last week, she's like, I just need to get back in racing shape. And she felt better about last week's race. And I think she's coming along just fine. And the fact that she's got a teammate that's not far off her, I think that helps. They're very good to one another, and it's a good, healthy relationship. So Sarah's going to be there, Christina's going to be there, and like I said, those other 3 are just chomping at the bit. It's exciting. That's exciting. So we need to keep their heads on straight. That's number 1, and then keep them healthy. But Sarah's been running great, and she's going to do well. And the one thing I think it's really different for her this year, I think sometimes last year she felt like I have this big noose I got to carry with me. I got to take the whole team up with. I don't know that that's necessarily there. And if she feels that way, I need to correct that, because it's not the case. Like, we have a really strong team. She just needs to do her job. Just fill your role and do your race.
That's great, Coach. Coach, strong race here today. We'll see. We'll wait the official results here, and then good luck at Culver, and then we'll look forward to talking to you. Good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate it.